Hi and welcome along to the weekend preview. We're here to preview all of the games coming up at this weekend's Premier League. And joining me, let me start off, a very special guest. So we're calling her a guest because we haven't seen her for so long. But good day. Good day, mate.
Good day, mate.
To Abbi, she's back from Australia. Back from, I'm going to ask you about that in a minute. We've also got Fuad, of course, big Tottenham fan, and Matisse, big Chelsea fan in the building.
We come in peace, please. Come in peace, please. Remember that show you don't have TV?
Yeah.
Peace. Remember that? Yeah.
Come in peace.
We do.
Come in peace. Right. But first, I've got to start with Abbi. Abbi, you've been at the Women's World Cup for the past 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
5 weeks. You was there throughout the whole thing. I saw some of your Instagram. You were busy, man. You were busy.
Busy 5 weeks.
Did you go to New Zealand as well?
No, we didn't go to New Zealand, which I'm a bit gutted about because being that side of the world, I wanted to kind of see everything. But we followed the England side, so their whole group and route to the final was in Australia. So we were back and forth between Brisbane and Adelaide, back to Brisbane, and then Sydney for kind of like the last 10 days or so. So it was unbelievable, absolutely amazing. I mean, if anyone hasn't visited Australia, it's a really long way.
Nice country.
Yeah, just an amazing place to go. Tournament was incredible. Obviously, the Lionesses did amazing to get to the final. Shame we couldn't bring it home. But I think when you think about, they were missing Beth Mead, Fran Kirby, Leah Williamson, no Jill Scott and Ellen White anymore. Like, to get to the final, I think, you've really got to commend them. Missing Lauren James 2 games as well. And I think there is just so much trajectory for, the Lionesses women's football. I'm very excited for the WSL season to start. I've got another month or so, 1st of October. But I hope everyone enjoyed it here because it was just amazing vibes in Australia. And like,
what was it like? What was it like being at the games? What was it? What were the crowds like? What was the atmosphere like?
Really good. I mean, I'd say obviously, like for me, the Australia game was my favourite game when England played them. Like, what it's done for the women's game in Australia is huge. I mean, I saw something yesterday which was like the Matildas were valued at like 25 mil before the tournament, and now it's like 135 mil, making them the most valuable team in the whole of Australia, like more than the rugby, more than the cricket.
Wow.
And that's huge, from a country that like women's football wasn't really a priority, and they did so well. They overachieved massively from what they set out to do, but they just had the whole country backing them, which was amazing. The England fans that were out there, it's a very long way to go, and I felt like more and more came as the tournament went on. But Colombia fans, like Panama fans, there was thousands. Jamaica fans, like it was brilliant, and Nigeria fans as well. And like I loved that, traveling the whole way across the world, literally the other side of the world to support your team. Like the Colombia game was mental. Like there was the 5 of us sitting there, and like we were just surrounded by Colombians. Like had no idea.
The Colombian fans. I remember I went to the World Cup, Men's World Cup, right, in Russia, when England played Colombia, and I remember that game. England won it on penalties, and I don't think people appreciated how big a win that was because literally the whole stadium was Colombian. I'm telling you, their fans are crazy. Yeah.
They are.
They really are. And it was the same with the women's, weren't they? They were really well supported.
Yeah, just incredible. I think that's what I love about, especially like the South American teams. Like they literally adore their national team.
I was going to say,
they travel everywhere.
Yeah, with these international tournaments, sometimes you realise how global football really is, if that makes sense. Like we always focus so much on kind of England, the Premier League and Europe, but you see the last World Cup, the men's one, you see over there in Australia, the women's one, it's just the energy is just incredible. Different everywhere you go. So.
You know what really impressed me with the Women's World Cup is like you had teams like Haiti. That I was like, they'll get battered.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Wrecked themselves,
They wrecked themselves.
That opening game was tough. It was really tough. But yeah, it was truly amazing. Like, I had the best 5 weeks ever. It was a lot of work, but it was great. And obviously working with Google, we've got a partnership with Arsenal now. So you'll be seeing even more of me.
Wow, Arsenal.
Yeah.
No, man, I'll get you banned.
I've been called a traitor.
I've got to get you in an Arsenal shirt. The plot thickens, right? Well, listen, it's great to have you back, Abbi. And hey, you would have been seeing Ange Ball from a distance. And he's Australian as well.
They love him.
What are they saying about him in Australia?
They you know what, they really like him, and now they've got a whole affinity to Tottenham because they're like, oh, we love Ange. So I mean, it's great. I was actually showing you before, wasn't I? I'll try and show you this mural that went up in Perth. Literally the day, because obviously we had the pre-season tour there, and it went up in like a day. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but
okay,
it was it's so cool
right there.
Like that went up in a whole day. So yeah, I mean,
where's Arteta's murals?
Yeah.
Has he got any in London?
Where's his mural?
Yeah, I thought not. They don't know you like that.
Well, you know, we do trophies, you do murals. You know what
I mean? The come second trophy.
Arts and Crafts Club.
Hey, listen, Arteta's won an FA Cup since he's been there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not in the mural thing, you know what I mean?
Yes,
right? We get the real thing, right?
Painting and shit like that. That's what Tottenham do. Nice.
Hey,
But anyway,
We're back.
Wake up!
for everybody joining us here live today, don't forget to like this video and get involved in the comments. That's what we love today. It's great to have Abbi back, but let's look ahead to the weekend's games. First of all, I was watching on Monday, right? I see you. I see you. I see that Alex, who ain't here today as well, right? Right. Even this guy, I see this man when they with the Arsenal thing, the Arsenal Palace game, he's there praying like this.
hey, listen. We got to make
Crystal
that. You know what I mean? We got to make
Crystal Palace win, inshallah, and all that. Oh, you think I didn't see you? You think I didn't see you?
Robbie,
don't worry about that, man. We got the job done, bro.
We got to be prepared. Listen, Monday night, Selhurst Park, it ain't easy.
You know what, right? That was the first crazy stat, yeah? That was the first game Mikel Arteta has won on a Monday night since he's taken over from Arsenal.
Mad stat.
He's lost all 4 games on a Monday night.
It ain't easy, man, I'm telling you.
It's not easy, and when we went down to 10 men, I was thinking, oh my God. But we actually saw it out well, defended pretty well, and we got over a really tricky game there. I thought the refereeing decision to send off Tommy Aston was absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know what's going on with this VAR stuff this season, but it seems like it's got worse. But we got through that, and that was a big win for Arsenal. And we'll talk about Arsenal's upcoming game. And let's start off with the game on Friday night. Now, we was talking to Matisse off air, and we were saying, anyhow, Chelsea were at home against Luton Town, newly promoted Luton Town. This is literally David versus Goliath. This is literally the rich versus the poor. Yeah.
Don't look away. Look at us.
Keep that eye contact, yeah? Keep that eye contact.
Anyhow, you do not win this game at home.
I agree.
Some serious questions has to be asked. I mean, surely this is a banker. You've spent nearly £1 billion and you're coming up against a team that I doubt they've spent £20 million so far in this transfer.
Got their stadium ready up.
Yeah.
No.
Damn.
Banker.
As Kevin Hart said, damn. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, for me personally, it has to be a banker, you're right. And it's not even one of those games that you look at and you think, we need to just win. We actually need to win well, in my opinion. Like, there's been parts of the games where we've played well against Liverpool, second half, ended the first half against West Ham, and then capitulation in second. Now we need to put it all together and have a full 90 minutes of just proper blowing the team away. And that is what Luton have to be, unfortunately, on Friday. So, you're right, big expectations. There's nowhere to run. Everybody will be watching because it's the only game on at that time, which is a shame because I would have preferred a little 3 o'clock hidden kickoff, you know what I mean? Behind
no hiding place for this one.
Yeah, behind closed doors, you know what I mean? Handle your business secretly, privately. But yeah, listen, it's public and we have to win. So I think there's another injury today with Mudryk. He's not going to be playing. I don't know how
that makes no difference.
Every single game, there's just an injury. Like, I'm actually tired. Every single, it's one injury per game, minimum. We've already had Nkuku. Now Reece James is out as well. Now Mudryk is out as well. Carney scored against West Ham. He got injured in that game. But even still, no excuses. We need to win. So I'm looking forward to the game. I'm still confident. I still have no worries or concerns about kind of the long term. I just want Poch to go back to what he did in pre-season with the formation, with the system. No more free at the back. There's no reason for it. Caicedo should be starting in this game. Hopefully, he's dusted off the cobwebs on his debut.
I mean, how ironic was that, right? I saw where they said 230 million blunder. In the end zone, 115 million, he missed the penalty. And then 115 million Caicedo gives the penalty away at the other end. But what have you, overall, I mean, we're all bantering in that, but overall, have you seen big improvements in Chelsea? Are you happy with what you're seeing at the moment?
I think...
Because it looks more exciting.
It is. In pre-season, definitely. Like, in pre-season, we were great to watch. We were pressing as a unit. We were getting the ball forward a lot faster to Jackson, but we need to put that together in the Premier League. I said in pre-season you could only take a little bit from it because it's not competitive games, and the teams are not necessarily going to set up the way they would set up in when points are on the line. We've seen that. We haven't had the same amount of space in behind, etc. But yeah, I am still happy with the basis of the team in terms of like Jackson. I think his hold-up play is really good. Again, just needs the finishing touches. The defence though, the goals that we conceded against West Ham, that can't happen again, especially when you've got that amount of defensive players on the pitch. You have 3 centre-backs plus the 2 wing-backs and a goalkeeper that's meant to obviously be more commanding. We go and concede from a set piece in six minutes.
Bullied them.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, look, I am more confident than last season. I think that kind of has to be the situation. You can't really get any worse than last season, but we need to put down evidence to the jury.
Do you know what I heard somebody say? That and I thought Sterling was really good in the game.
He was brilliant,
right? But everything from Chelsea just looked 100 miles an hour. And I think I was listening to, I think it was Alan Pardew I heard say the other day. He made a really good point where he said he feels at Chelsea at times they just need someone to just slow it down a bit. Get a foot on the ball.
Be calm.
A few little nice passes. Calm it down a bit. Because everything at the moment with Jackson, Sterling, Mudawaki, all these, everything's like 100 miles an hour.
This is Enzo's game.
This is where I think Poch really needs to stamp his authority, though. I think tactically, especially, like you said during the preseason, you played a 4-2-3-1. Now you're kind of flitting between formations. I think that's true as well, but that's because you don't have a lot of leaders outside of Thiago Silva as well. This is a very young team. A lot of them signed within the last kind of 18 months. They still need to bond and gel together, and the leaders kind of need to stand out. But players like that, as you say, the more quality ones like Enzo now in midfield, he's got to kind of take the scruff of that neck and kind of bring that kind of composure. But I think Poch, for me, there's going to be kind of like a teething process with his tactics. 100%. I think we've said it off camera, of course. It took us till November, that first year, till that Villa game, to really, for our players to understand. And I think in that first Liverpool game, I said in the first half, you got a glimpse of what you lot could actually be. That 100 mile an hour, as you're saying, fullbacks playing really high up, pressing really high up. But with the back three, that's always going to leave kind of gaps on the counter. I think if he goes back to the 4-2-3-1, maybe by Christmas...
He's got his midfielders now.
This is almost like the perfect game, though, to really try that, if that makes sense. Really try and go, you know what, this is the game where we're really going to stamp out authority and show what we learned in pre-season. The first 2 games, it was Liverpool. West Ham was a blip away. You've never really done well, to be fair.
No,
but Luton, this is your welcome to the Premier League baptism of fire, if you like. So,
and when you've got your midfielders in now, like Caicedo's ready to start his training, Lavia's got training, but again, that's not a problem because you've got Enzo, you've got Caicedo. You should be able to put together a balanced midfield now. Yeah. And then there you've got a foundation to play that formation and not say it's an imbalanced midfield with Carney and Gallagher and whatnot. So
message coming in from West Ham Fan TV. I don't know if it's which member of West Ham Fan TV.
Lawless, shameless.
Lawless or Nicky, but they've said, come back to the London Stadium. A few of your players are still in our boys' pockets. Abby, what did you make of Chelsea? Or what have you made of Chelsea so far?
The only game I got to watch because of the time difference, I stayed up and I watched our first game against Brentford, and I stayed and watched the Chelsea-Liverpool game. And I thought for the first half an hour you were dreadful, really, really poor. And then something obviously clicked, and I thought, okay, you're cooking something here. I didn't get to see the West Ham game.
Good.
I was travelling. I was starting to travel home at that point, so I didn't get to see it. But look, like Fuad said, and we spoke about it before we started the show. Like, we've seen this with Poch. When he came in at Tottenham, it did take time. Like, we always remember the good times under Poch and how well we played with a young team, but that did take a long time to adapt and adjust and find kind of that flow. And I'd even say that first season, it took that first season, and then after that we started
really
to
clicked,
then we really clicked. So his ideas are there and they're good, but you've got to allow him some time to kind of tinker with what he wants to do. There's a lot of players as well. There's a lot of personalities. There's a lot of money that has been spent. Whether or not Chelsea fans like to hear
it. You think they spent the money well?
I think time will tell. I think it's still too soon to actually judge that.
It's almost too much talent to fail. And that's why I say it's a matter of the coach really harnessing it. I think you wanted Poch in the summer. You've now got to kind of give him the time and the patience. Listen, you had Potter where you got told you be patient. You had plenty of managers over the last kind of 18 months. But I really think now with Poch, you have to kind of rough it out. It could get worse before it gets better.
And it probably will get worse before it gets better. But you've got the talent there. You just have to allow him to actually build the squad he wants to build, because it is very similar to what we had. Obviously, I'd say your players are far better than what we had at the time,
and the expectations are a little bit
much
more
higher. But he developed our players, which were good players, but not with the level of money
Dele Alli
spent.
come
Dele
from
Alli,
MK
5
Dons,
million.
like players signing from Ajax and Vertonghen.
No,
I'm asking you this, right? Do you think he spent the money well? How many world-class players in that Chelsea team?
Now, if you're saying world-class players, not many. If you're saying potentially
£1 billion
be world-class players, quite a few of them, I think.
Who are those?
I think if you're looking at Colwill, he could potentially be a world-class player. Okay, he weren't a signing, but I think someone like a Fofana, when you sign him, you're looking at he could potentially be a world-class centre-back. I think maybe people will laugh at it now, but Mudryk, when people were talking about him in January, people were looking at potentially he could be a world-class player. Enzo, Caicedo, those are 2 world-class midfielders you should be looking at, in my honest opinion. So there's potential world-class players in there, but the problem is they're all young. They've all just been signed for big money. It's like they did almost 2-3 years ago with Havertz and Werner. Those guys, it didn't work out. You don't want that same situation again, which is why I'm saying you actually have to give the patience for the coach to develop.
I'm a bit confused about Chelsea's strategy, right? And the reason being is that if, say, it was Tottenham spending this money, for instance, I'd understand it, because I know there'd be a patience there. Or certain other teams spending that money, then they're known as clubs, maybe they'd be patient to wait. If Arsenal spent that, they'd be like, all right, we're looking at 2-3 years. You don't get that at Chelsea. No. You don't get 2-3 years. Yeah. Every Chelsea fan's expecting top 4 trophies at the end of this season. You don't get that. So that's why I
don't think Champions League qualification with 1 game a week and to try and go out a cup, I don't think that's high expectations. I think high expectations would to be want to win a league or compete for a league. But to be in the top 5, you got extra place because of the coefficient. You got 1 game a week. You got 4 weeks to train and to recover and to rest. I don't think finishing in the top 5 is a high expectation, to be honest, especially when I rate Poch. And I think that team, like you said, is talented, but it just needs to gel. I think the biggest issue for the only thing that I actually worry about with Chelsea, if I'm completely honest, is injuries. If they just keep picking up injuries, you're never going to build any chemistry, any cohesion, and it's just going to be chop and change. The whole preseason they kind of built around Nkunku. He's injured. Carney plays against West Ham in the 10 scores. He gets injured. Mudryk, we want to see at the left wing, build up a chemistry. He gets injured. So injuries are my only worry with Chelsea, because they. Every single year they just keep picking up injuries. Every single year, it's too many
injuries to key players as well. Alistair Ray says, "I can't wait to smack that Chelsea scum at the lane."
Come on.
Ooh, and Clara Britsy says, "A little reminder about the bet that Abbi and Matisse had a few months ago on who finishes higher." Just for the viewers, can we have something similar to what Abbi and the judge did in their bet, leading to judge to buy Abbi a Spurs shirt?
We our bet.
What was your bet? Huh? What was your bet?
Our bet was 50 quid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was 50 quid for Tottenham to finish above Chelsea.
Yeah.
Smoked him.
Yeah, that was the bet.
The fact that he's forgotten and not paid it should be double.
No, yeah, it's true.
It's the end of the season.
You mean this season?
Yeah.
I thought you meant for last season.
We made this bet at the end of last season.
Yeah.
I mean, we should maybe up it. What if?
Oh, well, now you want to up it.
I tell you what.
No.
Hey, Spurs fans, get up in it.
Hold on. Chill.
I love you going, Abbi.
We're cooking.
Up in it.
Before she went to Australia, I actually said we should do higher, and she was like, no. Hey, and now you're back. You want to go higher?
I'm not increasing the price. I tell you what. Why don't we do this, right? As like a compromise.
I love it.
Whoever finishes higher has to do our Monday morning show in the other one's shirt.
Whoa. Ooh. No way.
I'm confident.
No way. Ooh, you would wear a Chelsea shirt. You would pull out that big. That's
crazy. I can't lie. That's a big one.
You're not. She's not going to do it.
Abbi, that's 60 minutes.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it.
No.
I'm not worried about it.
Oh no! I would have just said, "Yo, match day experience."
Listen,
what? I've got to go to Chelsea.
My club is too wild.
No.
For you to making bets like that.
There's still 7 days experience at Tottenham.
What are you scared of?
The's still 7 days left in the window. Let's not do this.
Are you scared of heights?
Huh?
Scared of heights?
I'm not scared of heights.
What are you scared of?
I'm scared of wearing a Tottenham shirt.
I love the confidence. But does anybody, just before we move on to the next team, does anyone give any chance to Luton? Any chance?
I'm back in Luton. Come on, the boys.
Yeah.
Why? Come on. You need to manifest his energy.
No, manifest, but for real, do you give him any chance against? I mean,
saw the types
they're
of goals.
barely
Listen,
spinning
it's
it.
early in the season. Things
game.
happen. There's nothing that says they can't come away with a draw.
Okay. Bournemouth versus Tottenham. The 12:30 kickoff, the very next game. You've been speaking very confidently about Ange Ball. This will be a bit of a test at Bournemouth.
Actually lost last season at home,
up in bets and stuff like that. I mean, you two are confident,
I just miss him.
Don't throw me in that. Don't throw me in that.
They need a humbler. They need a humbler.
Can I just say,
you know what, yeah?
I
was so cool with this low-key Tottenham season.
Hey, that's what I said.
Destiny, destined for the top. Fuck that. I want you guys to get destroyed on Saturday. Lunchtime kickoff, me and Robbie, we will be there. We will be there.
No, do you know what? I've only seen us play once. I'm just taking it from the United game. I'm just taking what I've heard.
Oh yeah, you're loving what you're seeing.
Yeah. I mean, I thought against Brentford, I thought we actually played quite well. I think we were quite unlucky with that penalty, a bit speculative.
Yeah.
Also, the Romero situation, didn't tick the right box, all that jazz.
Yeah.
But from what I saw, I was happy with it. I mean, from what I've heard about how he played against United, everyone was raving. They have said, look, we played really well, but the type of football we're going to see, it can go either way. You can win that game 2-0 or you could lose that game 2-0.
Exactly, I was going to say that was really a game of two halves. United could have easily been 2 or 3 out of sight in the first half. The handball, the Bruno header.
Hit the bar as well.
But then, as you said, second half, I think that's where a lot of Spurs fans are kind of happy, where we're willing to stick it out in kind of the rough moments and actually improved in the second half. Madison went up a whole nother level. The wide players moved up another. That's a dangerous one.
Yeah, because he left the stadium with on crutches, didn't he?
I don't think it's a long-term thing.
Yeah,
I think they said he might. They're not sure. They're not sure if he'll feature this weekend. It's going to be touch and go. Yeah. But I think that's the thing. I've heard the atmosphere was amazing. We haven't had that for 4 years. And just positive attacking football. So I don't think we really mind if we know some days we're going to get slapped 5-4 or 4-3. It's going to happen with the type of football he's going to play. But that's okay. And look, I'm excited. We don't traditionally do well on a 12:30.
It's like people don't want to see you happy that your team wins on the weekend. It's like people don't want to see you enjoy your own players when they play good. Nobody's sitting here, saying we're going to win the Champions League, but we can enjoy football. Not in the Champions League. We can. I know exactly.
Here are you.
Listen, I think this will be a good test for us again. I think away trip to Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth, I've kind of got them as a overachiever this year, to be fair. I don't think they'll be fighting relegation. They've got a bit of quality in that team. So I think this will be a good test for us again, similar like it was at Brentford. Brentford last season, we were getting punched up home and away. So all I want to do is basically whatever results were last year where we took L's, can we try and get some redemption this year? This year, for me, Spurs is all about redemption. We've got not much expectations on us. We've got no European football. We've got a lot of new players in the squad, a new manager. So it's just about getting through this kind of early period with as easy as possible, if you like. As you said, there's going to be a lot of tactical hiccups here and there. We've already seen the balls into the channels behind our high line. That's going to be a problem at some point. We're going to get punished by some team with quick wingers. And against better teams, it could potentially happen. These have Utara and Hamari Traore out wide, so could be the perfect weapon to hit us. But I'm personally confident going into this game, similar like I was against United.
Of course, we're going to be doing predictions at the end and getting these guys' predictions on all these games. Cactus Max with a super chat says, question for the GOAT Abbi. Do you think Tottenham will finish in the top 4 under Ange? And do you think Tottenham are better without Harry Kane?
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen you since all that happened.
Yeah, Harry Kane, of course, left. He finally
Every day
went.
Used to be Harry Kane talk on here, isn't it?
It's nice and quiet.
Goal and assist in his first game.
Yeah,
I sent a message to Toby. I said, I told you he's world class. He goes, Robbie, I hate
don't do that.
He goes, I hate your guts. I mean,
I've sold the signal. Every Arsenal fan is now all of a sudden my mate Harry, man. Yeah. Well played, man. Well played. You're doing well out there. I'm like, what? He's your mate now,
until we get him in the Champions League. I know he's destiny. It's destiny,
as well.
I've
already tweeted it out. I'm like, I'm going to come back to that.
That is proper destiny for you to get him in the Champions League and him score a hat-trick against you. Knock you out.
We will be there.
Do I think we'll get top 4? Look, I never said I don't think my expectation for this season is for us to finish in the top 4, but there's nothing to say I don't think we can finish in and around it. Obviously, like you said, 5th gets top 4. I think we'll be somewhere around 5th or 6th, which is fine. I've really written the season off in terms of any expectation. I just want to be here for vibes. good vibes.
Yeah.
And see good football. And what do I think about? What was it? What do I think about Harry Kane?
Yeah.
I mean,
are Tottenham better without Harry Kane?
No. But at the end of the day, like, we've been in a way a Harry Kane team for a very long time, and life goes on.
I don't want that narrative to start though, that like because we start playing good football now under a completely different coach with a completely different group of players, that now Tottenham are playing much better football now because Harry Kane's left. Harry Kane was never the problem.
He's never the
Harry
problem.
Kane was the solution
100%.
for a long time.
He's never selfish.
He was never selfish.
And had we have built around him, but
absolutely.
I'm done doing the negativity because we need to give Ange the love. The board is the board, and we'll always feel the same way about the board, but we're moving forward.
But can you imagine if you'd had Maddison in the 10 with Harry Kane up there instead of Richarlison?
Just stop.
That would have been unbelievable. Can you imagine?
Do you need to be this nasty on the first day back?
They really screwed up, Robbie. Think about it. Harry Kane, the most prolific striker out there, with Maddison in the 10 and Basuma and Sarr. Woo!
Listen, my guys
Damn, all of a sudden now they rate Sarr after one game.
Have
you seen these guys?
Destiny underlapping. It would have been crazy. Could have won the league. Could have won the league.
Honestly, you're so shameless.
Oh, I hate this guy.
But no, I do think we need to bring in someone though, because the Richarlison thing.
This is where it's going to catch up to us eventually as well. I think defensively and in midfield, we've looked very good in the first 2 games. I think creatively, keeping the ball, bringing the ball out of the back. But it's that those front three for me still haven't clicked. I've said Kulusevski needs a big season this year. It hasn't worked.
Also, Son. I know he's the captain now, but
he's going to be the captain now. You've got to lead by example. You're going to be the main goal getter in that front line. You've got to step up.
Do you think he should be down the middle?
I've said that. I said that's a solution for me.
Yeah.
Get Richarlison out wide. Get Son through the middle.
But Richarlison's only good down the middle.
No, he's not.
For Brazil.
Richarlison is not a striker. Who tricked the whole world into thinking Richarlison's a striker?
Brazil did.
Brazil did. Yeah. Because they have stars in every other position to cover up all his deficiencies. We don't have that, unfortunately. Put him
I do
out
think
wide
Son needs
or
to
on
be
the
down
bench.
the middle, though, for sure.
Son has to be, and we saw it in the second half of the United game, to be fair. But those three for me have to step up, or at some point we are going to get.
We do need to bring in someone else out front.
Okay, let me do a few more super chats there. Loads of them coming in. Official Moxie says, "When did we as football fans become so reactionary? Players these days are scrutinised if they don't hit the ground running, i.e. Havertz and Mount." Nicholas says, "Chelsea remind me of an NHL ice hockey team. You get young prospects, build a core, and you get good over time." Josh D, message for you. Matisse, he says, "Ross Barkley masterclass incoming at the bridge." Of course, Ross Barkley now at Luton Town.
Debut, innit?
Entre Elite says, "Wise kudos going to West Ham. Where's the ambition?" We'll get to teams like West Ham later on. Let's move on. There's a lot of 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday. Manchester United taking on Nottingham Forest. A bit of a tough start to the season by United. I mean, listen, they've won one, lost one, but even the one that they won against Wolves wasn't very convincing. Nottingham Forest at home, they'll be expected to dispatch off pretty easily. But Forest won last week, on the counter-attack, a dangerous little team. They will come, they will be well organised. United have really got a shine in this game. A little bit of pressure starting to come on United already, isn't there?
Similar to Chelsea, I feel like this has to be kind of like their wake-up game, if you like.
I think there's more pressure on them than Chelsea, because at least with Chelsea,
it's all new,
and it's quite exciting. You're watching with what I've seen at United, it's not been exciting, and the fans have not been too impressed. No Mason Mount, who's going to be out injured for a little while for Manchester United. They're under a lot of pressure in this game. They've got to win this.
I think this is why I said it's important the transfer window never closes before season starts. And I think United fans are seeing that right now, because prior to the season started, I think a lot of fans would have been happy with their window and been like, you know what, it's not been too bad. I think we will progress this season. But having seen the way they've started, the way they played against Wolves, not good enough. Spurs should have been way more clinical. And you just feel like they're missing a little something. I've said when Højlund comes in, I think he'll make a big difference. I think they need that big number 9 who can really glue it together.
He's got
a back injury at the moment, so I think it could be a couple of weeks.
Do you find it weird they didn't go for Kane?
Very weird.
Very weird.
It's one of those typical Sir Alex Ferguson move that they just didn't do. And I don't know
Considering the talk for the last 18 months has been about him going to United.
I think it's because they know there's a different price for United.
Yeah, maybe.
With everybody. If so-and-so is bidding for your club, it's 30 million. United bid, it's 60 million.
Yeah.
Kane comes into...
But then signing Kane would be the difference.
Would be
worth every penny.
The Glazers, I don't think they're really in a position where they want to break every penny in the bank to improve this squad like that. They just want to improve it just enough to qualify top 4, and then is it good enough to kind of sell on? And I think right now they're doing that.
Mount and Højlund instead of Kane.
I mean, that's mad.
For me, yeah, you would have thought
mad.
Kane is kind of the cash money.
Elevate the team to the next level.
But I think that's where kind of this game is really going to be the wake-up call.
Yeah.
Where
Roy Keane the other day described Manchester United as the new Spurs.
Ooh.
That's what he said. He goes, they've become Tottenham. You know what I mean, after their defeat.
There's definitely some.
Well, you lose to us, all of a sudden it went from lads as Tottenham to hey, we're the new Tottenham.
Yeah.
Come on, man, pick a side.
That's what he was saying.
Who you want to be, Keano?
You know, and he wasn't saying that in a complimentary basis.
I was going to say, it didn't sound
right.
right.
Yeah. So, you know, Man United under a lot of pressure in this game. You would expect them to win that at home. Another team that's under a lot of pressure at the moment is Everton. Everton against Wolves. Two teams that haven't won a game yet. So an opportunity for both of them to break their duck. But Everton, they ain't been great. They got absolutely dispatched against Aston Villa. And then Wolves as well, who also got battered at home by Brighton. I mean, it's a tough game. It's a tough one to call. But
Everton are definitely in a relegation battle for me. Like 100%.
I don't know how Everton is, how they've stayed
How
out.
they're still here is
is
a miracle, to be honest.
Calvert-Lewin now, he got an injury, suffered a bad injury to his cheek.
Yeah.
Feels like a 6-pointer. Even though it's early in the season, I feel
big.
like these are two teams that are going to be hovering in and around the relegation zone. I think Wolves are tipped to sell Núñez as well, which is another quality player.
I think they rejected a bid though.
Yeah, they've rejected it, but...
All right.
But I mean,
Man
they'll just
City.
wait.
But I mean, this season it just seems like they're offloading any bit of talent that they've basically got or had at the club, and they just Ruben Neves has gone. Jimenez, who was their only goal getter, really and truly, even though he's dried up over the last couple of years. But was it Nathan Collins they've sold as well? Yeah. They've sold a few players. Traore's gone. So you're just kind of thinking, is this going to be the same Wolves that we've been seeing as the steady eddies in the Premier League? I think there could be a dip this year. I think Gary O'Neill has come in. Looks like, finish. And that's the thing. I think, they've had 37 shots in the first 2 games, but that's where it is. I always say when you're in that kind of final third of the Premier League, you need that 10 to 12 a season goal getter.
Yep.
I don't know if I can look at their team and say Cunha, he's a busy player, technically good, but is he going to get you the goals? Hwang, he chips in here and there.
Yeah.
Can you give him a consistent run to see if he can be that? But I don't know. This is a game where I feel like it's an early season 6-pointer almost.
Arsenal versus Fulham. Arsenal 2-2, 2 wins in 2 so far. Fulham, they haven't won a game either, and lost Mitrovic now, and they haven't started the season very well, Fulham. I mean, last year they played really, really well, but at the moment they're looking a little shaky.
I'm expecting a drop-off this year. I think last year they were almost, I said, the rejects of other Premier League clubs had banded together and were all overachieving. Leno, Pereira, Mitrovic, Willian, guys who'd all been written off at other clubs, but now they were kind of playing under a manager, Marcus Silva, who himself had been written off, let's be honest. I think this season, Mitrovic, your main goal getter's gone. Palhinha started off the season with an injury as well. Yeah, I'm expecting the performances to definitely. I think Willian's touted with a move to Saudi Arabia, so they signed him to a new deal just so they could sell him. A bit shady, but I think this should be a formality for Arsenal. Arsenal went to their home ground back in the last season. I remember 3-0, absolutely schooled them without Mitrovic. So I think back in the last season, you kind of got a glimpse of what Fulham can look like without him. Bit toothless, to be fair, and the replacement is Jimenez.
Yeah.
I mean, Fulham, are you looking at Fulham and thinking they're another one of these teams that could be in a bit of relegation trouble this season?
No, I don't like at the moment think that they're
just above it.
Yeah, I think they're just in and above it. I mean, obviously, they had a brilliant season last season by their standards. There's nothing to say they can't do it again. I always think like the start of the season, it's slow. Like, you know, especially some of those teams that obviously had a great season. Like, it's a bit of a hangover because of how much they overachieved last year. And obviously they've got changes, you know, like you mentioned, Palhinha, Mitrovic not there anymore either. I'm not writing them off at all. Look, I still hope they can get something out of your game.
Yeah, I bet you do, yeah. And can Fulham get anything out of that for you?
Fulham are a weird one because without Mitrovic, I'm wondering who that focal point really is going to be. I still feel like they need to enter the market as well. I haven't really seen enough improvement. Paulinho, obviously, like I said, shoulder injury. Fulham are one of those teams where I think I wouldn't expect them to be in the midst of a battle, but I do think they'll be in the bottom half, kind of just floating. Maybe similar to what Palace have done over the last couple of years, kind of like 12th, 13th. Yeah, just kind of very underwhelming season where it's very insignificant to the grand scheme of what we're talking about in the league.
So, okay, and then
Dharma Traore the other day as well.
Final 3:00 kickoff is Brentford versus Crystal Palace. Brentford started the season well.
Good game. That's a good game.
And Crystal Palace, Crystal Palace, I mean, so another London derby.
Yeah.
How do you expect this one to go? I mean, that combination of Wissa and Mbeumo, the way they've been playing, they haven't really missed Ivan Toney yet, have they?
I'd probably make Brentford the favourites.
No, you can Palace.
Nah, I think draw. I think all 4 games they've had pretty much.
We'll save it to the predictions later on. But
yeah. But I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it always is between Brentford and Palace. I think they're 2 fairly equal teams as well. I think they're going to finish in and around the same place. But I'm looking at this one like it's a draw. I can't split either.
But there's no Elise, he's injured, and obviously Zaha's left as well. Don't you think Palace are kind of missing a little bit of...
No. Did you not see Eze play the other day? That
boy
is a magician. No, sometimes though.
But if you can clamp him though, because what Arsenal did basically is they just said
2 men up.
Yeah. Every time he got the ball, he was surrounded, and they didn't really have much creativity without him. You know what I mean? And that is the problem. So other teams are gonna be doing the same thing.
Yeah, Schlupp and Ayew on the wings.
How's Jeff Schlupp still playing?
It's a complete.
He's been around for years.
Was that Leicester when they won the title?
No
matter what they do, I feel like Palace actually have the worst front trio, if you like, in Mateta, Ayew, and Edouard. I'm sorry, those 3 couldn't hit a barn door to save their lives.
He did against us last year.
Do you know what?
He scored a hat-trick against
you. Do you know what?
Could have hit a barn door.
Of course he done that, and of course you remind me.
Could have hit a barn door. He scored a hat-trick against Tottenham.
Just attach all 3 goals and be like, goal and 1! But I just think they're always going to struggle as long as they have those 3. I think someone like a Balogun and Nketiah.
Yeah.
Go and get that. That actually
Balogun
makes a massive difference to the Palace team. That I think it goes from
exciting Fulham are interested in Balogun. Chelsea.
They should be.
Tottenham interested. Everybody wants Balogun.
I like Eze. I think Eze.
Put a realistic price tag on him, man. Also, this for 50 million.
No. They said for Tottenham is 70-80 million.
Listen, man.
Tax.
I think a Fulham or Palace would be a good move for him.
Yeah. Makes sense. Couple more super chats here. LJ Brown says, Abbi and Fuad, how convenient that Flex isn't here to take his cooking. But Abbi, don't forget, Matisse was trying to wind you up. Cook him. And Nicholas says, United went for Kane, but Levy refused to let him go to United. Kane was Ten Hag's #1 target. And Sasa says, happy that Abbi is back. Always nice to see her and Fuad when Spurs have had a good game, and X when they haven't. Right? Those are the 3:00 kickoffs. And then we move to 5:30. A big game, this one. Brighton versus West Ham. This should be a great game. Yeah. Brighton have been playing some scintillating football so far this season. That goal last week by Mitoma, what a goal that was. What a player. He's going to be the next one, 80 to 100 million, isn't he? I mean... they have got an injury, I think, to Enciso. He's out. But they just got these...
They've got options.
Where do they get these players? That is Stupinian. He's another left-back.
See you later.
Excellent player.
Can't step in.
Ferguson's been on the bench. People already value
Evan
Ferguson like 100 million. He's not even starting.
He's not even a regular. He's on the bench.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, them and Brentford. Let's not... Brentford as well have done, Wissa and Mbeumo. Who would have bought them?
Yeah.
Look how good those 2 are. Tony's out. No problem. They're holding it. So Brighton versus West Ham is going to be a good game. West Ham, of course, massive win over you guys last week, and they made a couple of good signings. I think, the Declan Rice money. Yeah. They've bought in Ward-Prowse. They bought in Alvarez. Yeah. They're about to buy in Brian Kudos as well.
Yeah,
spending the money pretty wisely.
I'm shocked with that Kudos one. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Champions League, scored at Anfield, plays for Ajax there, had some big links. I think Arsenal were linked, we were linked. Yeah. And Brighton obviously couldn't get the release clause into his contract and he goes to West Ham. So it's weird because David Moyes, he keeps signing these creative kind of little, gem, individualistic kind of players, and you just think this is not what David Moyes
remember last time they signed Maxwell Cornet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Paqueta, Scamacca. Very flamboyant.
But then he balances that out with
Antonio.
Get me a Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
But what is the identity?
You know what it is? You have to be fluid.
Both.
I think nowadays you have to have like depth
Options.
in your teams.
I
options,
think
and especially.
I think he's a great signing.
100%.
Why
I
would
think
you
2
not want
assists
him?
in your debut,
Yeah.
and they're playing in Europe, and they have been playing in Europe for the past 2 years consistently. So they're gonna need to use that depth to avoid having a season like last year. To be fair, so I think Kudus quality. Paqueta, you add that into the mix now. I mean, Rice who?
Some pressure on Bowen as well now to perform as well.
Yeah.
Rice was brilliant the other
Listen,
night. I'll tell you, I'm
Bowen will
happy.
probably be more of a striker, I think, this year,
Yeah.
for sure. With Kudus coming in, I think their idea is to not sign a Scamacca replacement, if you like. Give the keys to Bowen. You've seen what
can
he's been able
finish.
to do in the last 2 years. That goal in the first week, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. What a finish. Good strike.
Give us some more of that, please.
Okay. Burnley taking on Aston Villa on the Sunday. At 2:00, Aston Villa beat Hibs 5-0 last night. Looking good. Had a good win at home the other day. Burnley didn't play last week because their game against Luton was postponed. But that should be a really. I thought there was some good little signs from Burnley in their first game against Man City.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them play this season so far.
Yeah, not bad.
All
They
I saw
played some good football.
was that they obviously beat United behind closed doors yesterday.
No, they
or
didn't.
something. 3-0.
They played well against Man City.
Yeah,
they
I
just
saw that
didn't
as
have the final finishing touches, and then they got punished as you would against
Haaland,
City.
come
But they played nice football. They tried to play it about, and there was some nice combinations. They did put them under some pressure, but
It's not Burnley of old then.
no, it's very much the
don't like
opposite.
No, completely different.
like it.
An exciting
like
Burnley under Vincent Kompany.
Does it
playing
suit
some
them? I'm
really,
I'm looking forward to the weekend.
really, really
You know, when
good
someone
football.
starts acting brand new just because they lost a bit of weight or something. It's like, hey, we all remember who you were, yeah? Be yourself.
Nah, they're a different team now, a different team.
I just hope it don't catch up to them and end up costing them, because I remember a couple of times we've seen few teams, Norwich, I remember, dominated the championship, came up, didn't really quite work, and it was almost too late when they realised. So I hope Kompany has a balance of, kind of like a plan where, you know what, if certain games we don't need to, and I think Villa showed last week what a way to bounce back from that first week pummeling, to say like, you know what, we're going to put on a show now. So I actually think this is going to be a good game.
Should be a really exciting game. Is this the banker of the weekend? Sheffield United versus Man City.
Cash money. Like 5-0 minimum. is what I'm
Really?
going. 5-0
Sheffield United at home?
minimum. Yes.
At home, yeah.
At Bramall Lane.
Yeah.
Haaland.
Still cash money.
I don't think that's like a 5-0. I just don't.
I'm not gonna go as far as 5,
This,
but-
this is going to be the game where we realise how bad the situation at Sheffield is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people realise it.
They haven't bought anyone, have they? They're just
Nobody.
like,
I think they've
let go of
linked,
players.
Is it Cameron Archer they're linked with
Yeah,
for like
yeah.
18, 19
Yeah.
million? But he's like an unproven Aston Villa kid. And I'm like, this is your saviour? Good luck, man. Good luck. As I said, I think between them and Luton, they're going to be fighting for Derby's record.
yeah.
And Haaland's annoyed because he didn't score last week as well. So
Yeah. No Pep Guardiola at the game. He's not going to be there for a couple of weeks. He's had back surgery.
Yep.
So no Pep Guardiola on the sidelines. But
No way.
you know, but not sure that will make any difference.
Foden
And
operating in the centre.
Foden looked brilliant in the centre the other day.
Yeah, give him the
Bernardo
keys
Silva's just signed a new 1-year contract extension.
Doku, is he going to be
That's
available?
great news. Doku, they're bringing in. They're strengthening.
Is he going to be able to play this game? Because if he's making his debut, no.
No, I don't.
I
Too soon?
doubt it. I
think
doubt
it'll
it.
be too soon. He hasn't even completed his second part of his medical yet, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, back on the Bernardo Silva thing, signed a new contract till 2026. Big player. Big player. There was lots of linking him with a move away to Barcelona, but he's committed his future. And as you said, at the moment they're trying to sign Matthias Nunes. Wolves have rejected a £47 million offer from Manchester City, but they could go back in again. Remember, they paid 38 million for him when they bought him from Sporting Lisbon, Wolves. So they're going to want a load of money on top of you. I mean,
He's moving away from the passers to the ball carriers. I'm like, what's going on?
His
here?
midfield needs it. It's the types of profiles I think he needs in his midfield. He doesn't at the minute. He has a ball carrying Kovacic, but I think he wants one with a bit more
options.
execution.
Yeah.
And he wants goals as well.
Gundo
Nunes
kind of replacement.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
is what he's looking
Yeah.
at. And I think
Paqueta,
Paqueta kind of
Nunes,
fills
goals.
that profile, if you like. I
Yeah.
think
But that's
Nunes,
off, right?
similar
Paqueta one's off, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
off.
Yeah,
Deals
but
off.
I'm saying that
Yeah.
type of profile of a
Yeah.
midfielder who can also contribute in a final third back. can play a deeper role as well.
Then the big game of the weekend, the final game of the weekend, no Monday game this weekend, the big one for me, Newcastle versus Liverpool. This is going to be a tasty game. 4:30 kickoff. Newcastle, I have to say, I was very disappointed with Newcastle.
I was as well.
I thought they'd try and stick it on City. I thought they'd be...
Good time to catch them after playing midweek.
Good time. City had played during the week in the Super Cup, and they were just very... Negative. Passive, I thought. Man. Negative and passive.
It ain't easy, man.
No, it's not easy, but...
You try to go there last year, what happened?
I know that.
Try to play your champagne football, what happened?
But I'm thinking you're going there early in the season, right? Yeah. I'm not saying champagne football go toe-to-toe, right? Yeah. But what I'm saying, I was expecting a lot more from Newcastle. They just basically parked the bus, didn't they? Let's be real.
Even when they were losing with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, their tactic was park the bus and then let's have a go in the last 5 minutes. I mean, come on, man.
Listen,
I'm expecting. I think
it's hard to defend it, obviously, because the
expectations have risen up more on a team like Newcastle.
I think sometimes, though, that's what we're in danger of putting almost too much expectation on Newcastle. I think Newcastle are still becoming that club. They're still building, and it's like then still not at the stage where they can go to Etihad and say, you know what, we're going to go toe to toe.
No, but go and do it. Remember, did we not see Brentford last year go with a brilliant game plan against City?
That happens once a season. I think it was Palace the year before as well. Like, once a season, a team will...
No, but I just felt that Newcastle... You didn't think they were disappointing?
Listen, I agree. They could have been more braver, but I'm not mad at them going for that tactic. No. Sometimes you just want to get in, get out.
Yeah,
and that's the type of game I'm like, early in the season, we're playing City. Yeah. If we lose here, it's no scratch off our nose because we've still got so long left in the season. And in all honesty, a 1-0 defeat, all right, we left with minimal damage. Bro, back in the day, it might have been
but they shouldn't be thinking like that no more, should they? Because they're, they're just the week before you've destroyed Villa at home. I just thought that they'd go. I'm not saying
I hear you.
They're not as good as City, but I just thought I'd see more.
Even on the break with like Isak, Harvey Barnes, Almiron, like, you'd expect some sort of counter-attacking threat.
Yeah, okay.
Just to say, okay, when we do sustain pressure for 10-15, we are gonna throw a punch back. There was at least give us a little jab or something. They didn't even give us that. You're gonna defend.
They just stayed on the ropes.
They didn't even throw, and I'm like
on the ropes and every now and again.
Pretty good. Come on, man. Like, give us something. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do get that. I fully get your point, and I actually get your point as well. Like, especially how when we go there, we do try and counter. I think, I mean, I didn't see the game, so I don't actually know how it played out, but I'll take your word for it. They just sat there. But I think that, they've got enough.
I was excited to see what they do.
So was I.
But I do think they will be a completely different proposition at home against Liverpool.
Flags.
Because when you go to that place, mate,
listen,
it is a fiery atmosphere. All the fans now are 100% behind that team. I've gone to Newcastle over the years, under the Mike Ashley years. And trust me, you're speaking to Geordies walking up to the stadium, and they're basically like, I don't even know why I'm coming here today. You know what I mean? But last couple of seasons, even though we beat them last year 2-0, but the last couple...
Got mentioned that. Why?
That was a big win, man. You got to hold that, right? So but the thing is, the last couple of seasons going there, they're confident, man.
Yeah.
And that place is rocking. And that's what I think Newcastle are going to have a big season, because I don't think many teams are going to go there and get a win. I'm going to be really intrigued with this one to see how Liverpool get on.
Yeah.
Liverpool... won the game last week, got off to a slow start. Still sort of a bit of a rebuild with Liverpool, but still a great side. Liverpool still got Salah and players like that. This is a great game. I can't wait to watch this game.
I can't wait.
What were you guys thinking about it?
I need a Liverpool humbler.
This is going to be the one where I think that midfield gets tested as well. You've seen Dominic come in, you've seen McAllister will be able to play this game because that ridiculous red card he got last week has been overturned. But playing against Tonali, playing against Bruno, playing against Joe Linton, that atmosphere, that is going to be intense. So for me, I think this is going to be almost the perfect test to see where Liverpool how far they've come over the summer. And
big test to see how far Newcastle's come as well.
Yeah.
Facts.
I think Liverpool look a little bit light. I thought the first half an hour against you, they looked great. I think Szoboszlai's a player, I think McAllister's a player, but I know they signed someone this week, didn't they?
Endo. Big game for Endo.
Yeah. But again, at the moment, I still think they look like. When I thought they were getting Caicedo, I thought, yeah, that's the right fit, good fit. Same with Lavia.
That would have been a great signing.
But then obviously you just took both of them. So
thanks for giving my ego a little boost again. We did, didn't we?
I was really surprised, obviously, because I'm following it like at such a different time scale to what you were. So I was like, what on earth? Like, yeah, cool. I go to bed, they're getting Caicedo. I wake up, and it's like, no, they're not getting Caicedo. He said he don't want it. Klopp's done the press conference.
With his mum.
They're getting Lavia. No, now the next day they're not getting Lavia. Lavia's gone to Chelsea. It was all a bit mad.
Crazy.
Couldn't really keep up with what was going on.
I was covering it. It was rough.
I still think they need something else in that midfield. And just from watching them against you with the defence, I still think there's something in that defence that's just not 100% right for me.
Do you think they'll start with that Endo this week?
I think they should.
They have to.
Should. When he came on, he wasn't too bad when he came on in the second half as well. I think, listen, you've signed him. You've been raving about him. Klopp saying, give him time. I know this is a big game. As I said, that midfield is going to be very physical. So
Tonali in there for Newcastle as well.
So they've said he's a warrior and
he's a great player.
Yeah, there's no better litmus test for Endo though. Like, come on, cool. We had the home game against Bournemouth, keep the ball down to 10 men, so still very good.
Yeah.
But away to Newcastle, it doesn't really get much more difficult than that. Especially we're talking about P&P. So this is kind of like the guy that's meant to be the enforcer for Liverpool, the destroyer. If he can pass this test, say he plays a blinder and Liverpool go there and win. A lot more stocks are going to go flying through the roof for the captain, the former captain of Stuttgart. So, huge game. Let's get some more likes up, people. Over 6,500 of you watching at the moment. Let's have 1,000 likes. Only 705, so let's get some more likes on. Get into some more super chats here. Polo Bear says, ask Ma about Mehdi Taremi. Is he the Iranian player, plays for Porto, isn't he? Had a great season last year, scored loads of goals, but he's not the youngest. No, he's not, but that's exactly why I want us to get him, because it's like we've got so many. We're talking about getting an extra forward, and there's all these kind of glitz and glamour names going about, but he's got 1 year left on his contract. He's never injured. And yes, he is 31, but he's a consistent goal scorer, and he's actually pretty well rounded as well. He's played in his front twos. He's linked up very well with other players. He's got assists to his name. You'll see double digits for assists 2 of the last 3 seasons as well. So for me, just to kind of balance out the team and not put another player on an 8-year contract, if Chelsea are going to go and get someone, and you want someone aerially that's a threat as well for those crosses, something different to Jackson, go and get someone on a 2-year deal that has a track record of getting goals.
Man ain't coming unless he gets a 10-year deal.
Nah,
man. He wants to be there when he's 41.
Contract until 40.
Oh my God.
41 and they give him a 5-year contract extension.
Like, just something, if you're going to get someone, something completely different profile, different threat, a different plan, different option off the bench as well. Just something different, man. Got enough young players to develop.
Yeah,
you sold that pretty well.
Bro, I've gone through this.
I've gone through it, bro.
Bro, he's a good player. He's got Champions League experience. I think he got like 7 goals in Champions League last year.
He scored a lot of goals last year.
He's a good player.
Darren Walker says, at last, Abbi is back. She's been much missed. She brings beauty to the show, even though she's a Spurs fan, right? She brings more than just beauty, trust me. Mark T says, Arsenal will be 3-0, I think he's going in the Fulham game, but I'm interested in watching Newcastle versus Liverpool. St James Park is not an easy place to go. And he's saying that he thinks it could be 3 to them against Liverpool. That's going to be a really tough game. Let's get some predictions in. I'm going to come back to that one at the end. Let's start off with the Friday night game. Chelsea versus Luton.
We've got Chelsea 2-0.
That all?
Yeah.
I'll go 1-1.
1-1? If it's 1-1.
Go back to Australia. I'm going to go 2. No. I'm going to go 3-0.
Yeah, I'm going 3-0. I think Chelsea...
I can't believe you're doing this. 1-1.
Listen, we had our alliance. We'll still have our alliance on them, but we discussed this.
Okay, fair enough.
If we want to stay friends, and this is just how it's going to have to be.
Cool, fair enough.
Bournemouth versus Tottenham.
1-1.
I actually don't think that's not bad.
You see what I'm cooking?
I'll go 2-1 Tottenham.
I'll go 1-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I'll go for a draw in this as well.
Damn.
I hope someone's writing these down, by the way.
It's recorded. It's all
2-2. 2-2 draw. Brentford versus Crystal Palace.
Yeah, 1-1 draw. I think every game's been a draw with these two.
I'll go 2-2.
I'm going to go 2-1. No, I'm going to go 2-0 Brentford.
I'm going 2-1 Brentford. I think Brentford's, they're at home. They're very good at home at the moment. Here's one that I will be really interesting. Everton versus Wolves. Is this destined to be 0-0?
I think this is the one it clicks for Wolves and they sneak a win. 2-1 Wolves.
2-1 Wolves.
3-0 Wolves.
Really?
Yep.
3-0.
This is going to be.
Who's going to score? Who's going to score? Who's going to score those goals?
Booze at home.
Booze for Dyche.
Bro, booze at home. Anger,
Who's scoring 3 goals for Wolves?
I don't know. But they go and cook.
You know what? I'm going to go 1-0.
They play well enough to cook.
1-0 Everton.
It's just going to click, like you said. Goals is going to come.
Yeah.
Where from, we don't know.
1-0 Everton. Come on.
Juan Podence.
0-0 draw. 0-0, man. You know what I mean? 2 dead teams when it comes to scoring goals, right? So 0-0. Arsenal versus Fulham. Abbi. You hater.
I'll go 3-1 Arsenal.
Matisse.
She hasn't changed one bit, has she? Still struggles to say 3 just to give Arsenal a win. It's at home to Fulham, man. 2-0 Arsenal.
4-0 Arsenal.
2-0 Arsenal. Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest. Matisse.
See, United are a bit dodgy. I'm going to give it 1-0 to United.
I'm matching that 1-0 United.
2-1 United.
3-1 United. 3-1. I think United will click in this game, man. They've got to, man. They've got to. Rashford will come to life in this game, I think. I mean, if they don't...
They got a good home record on 10.
That's the thing with United. That's what gets them through.
Yeah.
It's the home... Their away record's atrocious.
Yeah.
But at home, they're they've got an excellent home record, and I can't see Forest getting anything there. Brighton versus West Ham. Abbi. Oh, no, Fuad, sorry.
Let me go 2-1 Brighton.
2-0 Brighton.
I think it might be 2-0 as well, actually.
Right.
2-1. I'll stick with 2-1.
We can share it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3-1 Brighton.
I'm going 1-1. I think West Ham are going to be buoyed by... mind you, there's no Aguerd, didn't he? He got sent off, didn't he?
Yeah, big loss. But
Well,
Uncle
they've got Kostas Mavropanos, who's playing at Arsenal.
Yeah, your boy,
Yeah.
Yeah, 1-1, man. 1-1. You know what I mean? You've even got a little sell on as well. You know what I mean? It was nice.
Probably said that like he pocketed the change. Like, yeah, I even got a little sell on now.
You got a little sell on, man. Little sell on. Got a little £2 million sell on.
Getting
On
the
that.
cash.
Burnley versus Aston Villa. Villa won 5-0 during the week yesterday against Hibs.
Company pain continues. 3-1 Villa.
Ooh.
2-0 Villa. I'm
I'm
going to go.
going to go 2-1 Villa.
I'm going 2-1 Burnley, man. I think it's going to be the...
I might change my result after that. I don't like there's too much Villa support.
Burnley at home. Remember the last game Villa played away from them? They got absolutely smashed by Newcastle.
I just think Villa on the break, if it was to go that way with a lot of possession, that
True,
pace,
but I think...
Watkins, Diaby, Bailey.
I thought Burnley played well against Man City,
Mad.
right? It's just that City were just ultra clinical. Mad. Sheffield United, Abbi, versus Manchester City.
I'll go 3-0 City. Not 5. We've got to have respect. We've got to have respect.
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5-0.
5.
5-5.
5-0.
Lock that in. Take that down. That's his prediction.
5-0.
Yeah, 5-0 I'm going.
I'm gonna go 3-0 as well.
You know, I'm kind of siding with you a bit. This is going to be a rude awakening for Sheffield
You always
United.
have
Man.
one of those early seasons.
And City are one of these. City are not the sort of team that go there and they're nice. They're ruthless. They'll be like, yeah, welcome to
our league.
Welcome to our league, and you're getting relegated too. 4-0. So I'm going 4-0. And in the final game, this is a good one. Newcastle versus Liverpool. Abbi Summers. What are you saying?
Part of me wants to say a draw on this, but like I feel like I should really back Newcastle being at home.
Please.
Please.
All right, there's something in me that's saying 3-1 Newcastle.
You're stealing my predictions.
That's what you're thinking. Listen,
3-1.
if that doesn't go well, Alex
for,
is going to come for me so hard
3-1.
on Monday.
3-2 Newcastle.
I think Isaac's going to put on an absolute
I need this.
masterclass.
We need
3-1.
Barclays.
No, I think you lot are writing off
Premier
Liverpool,
League,
man.
You're saying we're 2-room masterclass?
Yeah, I think Liverpool's a team that can.
They can.
They can.
Newcastle going to come on Newcastle.
Yeah.
Come on.
Bellies out.
You know what I mean? Salah on that counter attack.
Could be,
Diaz.
but it could be. You see
People
how
are forgetting the attacking.
But you see how Liverpool started against Bournemouth, and you see how Newcastle like these fast 15-minute blitz starts at home.
2-2.
Do that against the wrong team. Could have a nice big lead early on.
I'm going for a 2-2 draw, man. They have a lot of draws between them.
I'm not saying there's not a draw.
I can see Newcastle going ahead 2-0 early, and then Liverpool bringing it back.
Yeah, 2-2 draw. Those are our predictions. What are your predictions? Thanks, by the way, for everyone who's been getting involved with their predictions in the comments. Let me just do a couple of them here. Udwan says 2-0 to Liverpool. El Hombre says 3-2 to Liverpool. El Martinez says 2-2. United Ayub says 4-1 to Newcastle. Wow.
Big
4-1 to Newcastle. 6-0 Man City, says N Lungs. Conop says 2-1 to Burnley. Mike Barrett went for a 3-3 against Villa. So lots of mixtures in it. Did I do the Tottenham game?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, what did I predict?
Such a hater. He wants to do it again.
No, but did I predict it?
Go on, what's your prediction?
Oh, no, I did. I said it.
I don't know what you said.
You said draw, wasn't it?
A draw.
Oh, yeah, you said 1-1.
Draw, 1-1 draw. 1-1. I forgot Ange, big Ange.
Big
That's all I keep hearing, you know. Big Ange, big
Ange.
Ange.
Respect the big A.
I heard this hype before somewhere.
Nah.
Conte. Mourinho.
But
Listen,
Ange's
we're
not.
I
Ange's
heard
not
it all
as-
before.
He's not as toxic.
It's good. What I like saying, it's good to get behind your manager, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. Heard it all before.
Well, behind
You
our
don't
managers.
know supporters of your club?
We all support
No.
our managers.
Listen, I
Yeah. I wanted my manager in. I don't know about you guys. Did you guys want your manager?
Yeah. For how long? We'll see. I'll ask you again in 6 months.
Bro, I'm backing my manager.
These Tottenham rejects. Why are we hiring them?
That's literally-
Glasses steaming
put the
up
glasses
like
on,
he's
yeah,
eating a chili.
Nope.
Your tweet
We will
thing
be
was
there.
so funny, by the way.
No matter what.
About Lukaku.
Yeah, listen.
That was
Oh, you know what? Viv, just before we go,
Why?
I've got to get your opinion on
Why
that.
you do this? Why?
Lukaku, you are desperate for a striker at the moment.
Get out
right?
of my club.
You are desperate for a striker. There are rumours that Pochettino may sit down
Get out.
and have a talk. I think I saw that this morning.
No, you didn't.
I did see that this morning. This is not an idle rumour. Let me see let me get the source just so that you think.
Wrong source.
Right, here it is.
Heinz.
According to, oh no, it weren't there.
Heinz. Yo, Robbie,
Anyway.
stop this, man. Robbie, stop this. Robbie, stop trying to dig.
I saw a rumour today that Pochettino may sit down and have a talk with Lukaku.
Yeah.
With a chance of assimilating him back into the team.
He should definitely sit down and talk with Lukaku and discuss his exit strategy, for sure. 100%.
You wouldn't have him back.
Because he needs to leave my club. I am not having him back.
You ain't got a striker.
That's fine. I'll play
There's
with false
no
nine.
real strikers out there.
False 9. We have Bro also coming back into the fold. He's back in training. So I've got 2 strikers now.
So you-
back from an ACL.
Armando.
So no way you'd have him back.
Nope. I'm so crystal clear, certain on this one. Like, no.
Also saw him linked to Tottenham. Would you have him at Tottenham?
Oh, hell no.
Even with Richarlison, with 1 goal last season, and he called it. He was like, yo, I'm
would
not
have
sure
him at
about this one.
Tottenham?
And he still wouldn't take it.
Listen, I jokingly said it and people thought I was being serious. I'm like, listen, we're building a new dressing room, a new culture.
Same.
The last thing you need
Exactly.
to do is to put Oppenheimer in there.
Exactly. We're building a new environment, new culture.
Yeah.
We got young, hungry players that are meant to be trying to prove themselves. Everybody pulling in the same direction. Pochettino said he doesn't want anyone at the club that doesn't want to be here. And Chelsea fans last season were complaining about having players that don't care, don't want to be here, just here for the ride, here for the... And then suddenly, Who do you want to bring in? One of the biggest ops of them all, the guy that has told you in 5 different languages, because he's very smart, very good with languages. He told you in all languages, I don't want to be here. In Italian, it's not in English, every language, I don't want to be here.
It's not about lack of quality or ability. Like, he'll get you goals. He'll be the flat track bully for all those teams that you expect. But it's all the extra baggage that comes with it. Nobody wants to deal with that. And I'm sorry, the way he's handled himself this summer, from being at Chelsea to wanting the intermove to now you're getting the intermove and you're flirting with their rivals.
And then Juventus walk away.
And then Juventus walk away, and now you're left with nobody. It's just very ugly.
Apparently Roma.
Okay.
Go Saudi, man.
Okay, Clara. Yeah, I've seen the Roma link. Clara Bitsy says Robbie Poch just had a press conference, and he clearly said nothing has changed with Lukaku and the club. They both want him out. And honestly, he says we are undefeated for a year. At Newcastle, he says he's a big Liverpool fan. Those are all the predictions for this week and all the games previewed. We want to thank my esteemed panel. Abbi, great to have you back from Australia. Matisse, thank you very much. And also Fuad. Don't forget to check out the Saturday football show this week. Lots of 3 o'clock kickoffs. Alex will be back in the hot seat with a great panel, checking out all of those games and giving you all the goals as they go in. So make sure to check out the Saturday football show, of course, on a Saturday. Thanks for watching the show. Don't forget to subscribe here to DR Sports. We got over 1,000 likes. Thanks to everybody who was watching and really, really enjoyed it today. And we'll be back on Monday with the weekend roundup, rounding up all the games. Could Luton spring a little surprise? We'll find out. Thank you.
Haters.